Apple had one job: to prove that Apple Intelligence actually works this time. 2 years ago, they promised us AI that would change everything. Siri was supposed to get smart, your phone was supposed to understand you. None of that worked. A few days ago at WWDC 2026, they tried again, and the stock dropped 2% after the keynote. But buried inside that 2-hour presentation are 5 things every founder building with AI right now needs to pay attention to. Most breakdowns you'll see this week will be recaps from people who watched the keynote and basically just summarized it. This isn't that. I build production AI systems every single day. I run agents on Apple hardware. I've been tracking Apple Intelligence since the original broken promises in 2024, and I've shipped on their platforms since then. So when I tell you there are founder level signals in this event that matter more than anything Apple actually announced, I'm not guessing. So here's what we are covering: why Apple partnering with Google is the most important strategic signal of the year, the first real AI agent Apple has ever shipped and why it resets user expectations for every product you're building, the developer tools that change how you build on iOS, why Siri AI might be another broken promise, and the Wall Street reaction that tells you exactly where the market is heading. Hey, I'm Johnny Nel. I spent years building businesses the old hard way, managing teams, scaling operations, and doing everything manually. Today, everything I built, from automations and no-code infrastructures to fully AI SaaS products, has AI helping in one way or another. Firstly, let me quickly show you this. In South Africa, we call this a braai. I build with AI tools that, in my opinion, anyone can learn to use. My mission is simple: to help creators, entrepreneurs, and business owners get clarity with AI. Let's build smarter together and enjoy this video. If you're building a product and you ignore what Apple just did, you're going to miss the platform shift. Apple has 2.2 billion active devices. When they ship AI features, it resets what normal looks like for every single user on the planet. The last time founders ignored the Apple platform shift, think about the App Store, Swift, ARKit. The ones who moved early captured the entire markets, and the ones who waited got priced out. That is without taking into consideration what AI has done in the past few years and how everything is just so much faster. You see, this isn't about Apple being cool or being trendy. It's about 2.2 billion users getting trained on a new AI baseline that your product needs to match or exceed. If you don't understand what that baseline just became, you're building for yesterday's user expectations. So let's start with point number 1. Apple partnered with Google because building your own AI is a losing game. Here's the thing nobody really wants to say out loud. Apple, the most vertically integrated technology company on earth, a company that builds its own chips, its own operating systems, its own retail stores, looked at foundation models and said, we can't do this alone. You see, Apple's foundation models are built in what they called deep collaboration with Google's Gemini family. The most powerful AI model, FM Cloud Pro, runs on NVIDIA's GPUs inside Google's data centers. Yeah, you heard that right. Not on Apple's and not on Google's either. I believe the stock dropped because investors potentially rate that as a weakness. But if you're a founder, this is the most important signal of the entire event, in my opinion. The smartest company in the world ran the build versus buy analysis on AI and chose to buy. They have 160 billion in cash. They have the best chip design team alive, and they still decided that building competitive foundation models from scratch was not worth their time, the costs or the risks. If Apple can't build it alone, neither can you. So use the best available models that's currently available at your disposal. Integrate it fast and ship your product. Don't waste 18 months and $1 million trying to train your own model when you can plug it into one that already works. Not to mention the free API components that's out there, specifically from NVIDIA side, that you can run from their cloud or just running something local. By the way, guys, we have so many resources around how to set this up successfully inside of the AI Vault community. I do invite you to accept your invitation and jump in there. Let's move over to point number 2. Apple just shipped their first AI agent and it's fixing passwords. You see, the Passwords app now uses Apple Intelligence combined with Safari too, and this is their language. Agentically take action on your behalf. It goes to each website, navigates the user interface, finds insecure passwords, and changes them automatically. No human in the loop. The agent does the work. It sounds familiar, right? Do you remember when Apple showed this awesome ad that Siri is now answering emails on your behalf? I haven't seen that yet, but this is Apple's first autonomous agent in production. It's not a chatbot, it's not a summarizer, it's not a thing that just suggests text. It's an agent that opens a browser, that clicks buttons, fills out forms, and changes passwords across the web without you lifting a finger. For founders and non-technical founders and builders, this is the moment that matters the most. Apple just told 2.2 billion people what an agent is. Not a blog post, not a developer talk, in a consumer product that ships on every iPhone. Your users will now start to expect this level of autonomy from your product too. And if your AI feature still requires 5 clicks and manual configuration for every action, you're already behind the new baseline that Apple just set. So let's look at point number 3. Point 3, on-device AI just became a real developer platform. 2 new frameworks dropped at this event, and most of the coverage is ignoring them. First, the foundation models framework. This lets you run Apple's own AI models on device through a Swift API. Second, Core AI framework lets you run your own custom models locally on Apple Silicon. Think about what that means for your cost structure. Right now, if you're building an AI-powered mobile app, every interference costs money. Every API call hits your margin. Every user interaction is a line item on your cloud bill. With on-device models, interference happens on the user's hardware. It's free to you after the initial integration, and it works online. It respects privacy by default because the data never leaves the phone. So if you're building a mobile app or any form of agentic infrastructure with AI features, this is a genuine inflection. You now have production-grade on-device intelligence without managing your own model deployment, without running interference servers, without worrying about latency or connectivity. Apple just handed you the infrastructure. The question is whether you'll use it before your competitors do. As mentioned earlier, we break down a lot of these major AI platform shifts like this inside of the AI Founders Vault. That is where we go through the how, the templates, the implementation workflows to really set everything up correctly, to ensure that your security is on par with what is required in order to run this successfully. And we utilize a lot of the expertise inside that you actually built on these components. That is inside of the vault. The link, as mentioned, is down in the description below. Point 4. Siri sounds incredible, but we've heard this before. I'm going to be very direct with you on this because the fan blogs out there won't be. Apple Intelligence was announced at WWDC 2014. Features were delayed. Siri's improvements barely shipped. The summarization was so bad it generated fake news headlines that BBC and other outlets had to publicly call out. Essentially, the trust was broken. Now they are promising Siri AI, fully conversational, deeply contextual with its own dedicated app. Personal context awareness across your entire device. It sounds incredible. And it might be, but the fine print tells a different story. No firm release date, just beta later this year and in English only. Not available in the EU initially. Daily usage limits on Siri AI unless you pay for iCloud Plus. You see, the last part is the founder's lesson. Apple is monetizing AI access through subscriptions. The biggest company in the world looked at their most anticipated AI feature and decided not to give it away for free. They are gating the premium tier behind iCloud Plus. And if Apple, with 2.2 billion users generating organic demand, still charge for AI, a lot of the times we can think perhaps giving something out, not charging for it, might be the best route. But here we can see it's extremely important to take that into consideration. You see, price your AI features, build a usage tier, train your users to pay for intelligence the same way Apple is training theirs. This leads me to point number 5. Xcode now has an agentic coding assistant, and it's not locked to Apple. This one flew under the radar, but it might be the biggest philosophical shift Apple has ever made in developer tools. Xcode, Apple's IDE, now has an AI coding assistant that searches your code base and executes multi-step tasks across your project. Standard stuff in 2026, but here's the part that made me sit up. Developers can choose their model. You can choose Apple's, Google's Gemini, or third-party providers. You see, Xcode connects to external tools like Figma and GitHub. Apple, the most walled garden company in technology, the company that once tried to ban third-party keyboards, as an example, just opened their IDE to competing AI models. This signals something that every founder needs to internalize. Even Apple knows the one model to rule them all approach is dead. Multi-model, multi-provider is the architecture. If you're building your product locked to a single AI provider, you are building dependency that even Apple decided was too risky. Design for model switching. Abstract your AI layer. Build so you can swap providers without rewriting your product. Another fascinating component was the Wall Street reaction telling us everything. Now, quick disclaimer, I'm not giving you any trading advice. I do not suggest you go about doing that. This is purely just for educational purposes only. But the thing that nobody in the tech press is connecting is that Apple's stock dropped with 1.89% after the keynote. Not because the announcement was bad, but possibly because Wall Street wanted proof that AI actually changes user behavior and drives revenue. You see, Apple's price to earnings ratio is sitting at 36 times. That is a 37% premium over its 10-year average. That premium is priced entirely on the bet that AI works this time. And Apple couldn't deliver the evidence. No adoption numbers, no revenue attribution, no firm Siri AI launch date. Just trust us, it's coming. So here's the founder's takeaway that is most probably worth more than everything else we discussed in this video. If a $3 trillion company with 2.2 billion users and $160 billion in cash cannot get away with AI is coming soon, neither can we. So ship working AI features or don't talk about AI at all. Your investors, your customers, your market will punish vaporware the same way Wall Street punished Apple's after this event. The era of announcing AI is over. The era of shipping AI is the only thing that counts. If you want the full founder's breakdown of every major AI shift that happens, subscribe. As you can well see, I don't do hype recaps. I tell you what it means for what you're building. Drop a comment and let me know, do you think Apple will actually deliver on Siri AI this time, or is it just another broken promise? I read every single comment and the questions become future videos. So if you're serious about building with AI, not just watching keynotes about it, the AI Founders Vault has the implementation playbooks, the architecture templates, and a community of founders who actually ship. The link is down in the description. Go build something. See you in the community.